Yo, Novatos, thanks again for tuning into yet another video. Infamous coming at you live from the West Coast, yet again out here in the California. So anyways, let's go ahead and get on with the topic of today's video. I saw a post on the Facebook group, and it's just something that I've been seeing a lot recently. If you guys seen some of my other videos, you guys have probably caught on to this trend of either getting rid of your lowrider or traded it in, or selling it. So yeah, I mean, the post, it was just about why is everybody selling their lowriders, what is going on. And yeah, I looked through the comments, and a lot of the comments made sense. Some of the folks traded in for Pan America. They just wanted something more modern. The 1250 Revolution Max has been a beast, of course, but the Pan America has, I mean, it hasn't been completely perfect. There has been some issues, and I don't want to get into it in this video, but the 1250 is a beast. It's a great frame, a great engine so far from Harley. They've engineered something very special with the 1250 Revolution Max. I'm excited for what's to come. But getting back on topic about why is everybody traded in their lowriders. So I mean, it's obvious. It's wintertime. Some people out in Ohio on the East Coast, Northeast, and in the North, it's getting cold, 20 to 30 degrees. And, there's also the fact that you're still making payments on this bike. This is why I always tell you guys. You guys got to make sure you guys know what you're getting into. Yeah, like I said, you're going to be making payments on these bikes. Some other folks just said, you know what, they don't ride them as much as they thought they would. So, there was, I think somebody mentioned that they ride their lowrider maybe 1 hour a week. And if that's you, then I think it's time for you to get off the payments, sell the bike, or probably just buy something used, buy something that you don't have to be thinking about making the payments. Because if you're only riding that bike for 1 hour a week, so what is that, 4 hours a month, and you're making a payment of $300 to $400 a month, you're paying what, $100 per hour to ride that bike. Yeah, it's just not worth it. So this is why I always tell you guys, get a used bike, have it for at least a couple months, maybe 3 to 4 months. If you still enjoy riding and you still have time to enjoy riding the bike, then probably consider getting into a finance bike, which is that's just, I've already explained it. Costs, insurance. The insurance is a big one. A lot of people don't realize how much the insurance makes a huge difference. And then of course you have all the fees, the taxes, the markups, everything else that you have to consider. These bikes aren't just $18,000-$20,000. You have to calculate all the other BS stuff that comes with buying a brand new bike from a dealership. So yes, that came up. Ride time, like I said, maybe ride it for about an hour or so. People, like I said, people start getting into it. They find it exciting, and little by little, they kind of start losing interest. And then at the end of a month or two, they find themselves just riding the bike for an hour or so, or maybe less than that, or maybe just on the weekends. And by then, you probably want to consider something else, something that you're not making the payments. And yeah, reason number 3 was just the time of the season. Like I said, you're making payments on these bikes. You have to think about this stuff. If you're out there in these cold areas, 20 to 30 degrees right now. Out here in California, I'm still riding every week. Yeah, you just have to think about, there's going to be downtime. You guys are going to have to winterize your bikes. That's going to be 3 to 4 months. And the payments just don't stop. You have to keep on making payments on that bike. So you'll be paying $300 to $400 depending on your payments. So yeah, that was the third reason. It's just the winter, and people just, it doesn't sit easy with anybody. If you're not riding your bike for those 3 to 4 months, you have it sitting in the garage on the jacks, on the jack stands, then it's gonna be a little, it's a tough pill to swallow, making that $500 payment when it's just sitting in your garage. So that's another thing. And I think another reason they were just mentioning, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just the lack of power. You know what it is, I think. Some of the comments, some other posts, people were talking about, how do people feel after some time on the saddle, and I don't know what it is. just the performance, or maybe it's the S at the end of the lowrider. People, I guess people just think it stands for sport, but it stands for special, guys. It's not a performance bike. Harley-Davidson, air-cooled V-twin. I mean, there's drawbacks to this design. It's a push-rod engine. It's not ideal for performance. There's torque and there's plenty of potential with the M8 design. If you guys seen some of those other YouTubers, they're able to get 150 horsepower, 150 torque out of these bikes, but you do have to drop a lot of coin. You have to drop a lot of coin. And if you're doing it at the dealership, you're looking at $10,000 or more than that, depending on what you're doing to the bike. So I think that's probably something. I believe that's probably some of the reasons why people went from the lowrider to the Pan America. That, and of course the suspension travel, the comfort out of the 1250 frame, the new frame from Harley-Davidson. They do have a lot of great technology in that bike. They have the modes, and you know what, I'm not going to get into it, but yes, I think that was one of the reasons why people were mentioning. Yeah, I guess they just grow stale of the bike, of the torque. I don't know. I mean, I'm still enjoying my bike. I've had my bike for almost 2 years now, going on 2 years on January, February. So I still enjoy riding my bike. I very much love getting on it and just getting on that throttle and feeling all that torque. So another reason why, or something else that people mentioned in the comments, was just the lifestyle. You know, stuff happens. Our jobs, our careers, or our families, something gets in the way, something comes up that we just the motorcycle or just the ride time has to take a back seat. It's just something that kind of happens. I mean, yeah, there's people out there that drive to work. They have a utility truck, and like I said, maybe they change the career path, and instead of riding to work, getting to a location or to a lot. I used to work for a body shop, a tow yard, a tow truck company, stuff like that, and instead of having to ride to a location, now you're bringing that utility vehicle with you, and now you don't commute on your bike anymore. So I mean, that could probably happen. Like I said, something else with the family, maybe you're new parent or something, and I mean, your family's just uneasy knowing that you're still out there riding a bike. So I mean, that could also come up. Family time, that's another issue, or that's another thing that could come up. It's just, I mean, this is just the stuff that I mention in a lot of my videos, where, I mean, if you have other priorities and you want to get into this, consider buying used. Don't get a brand new. Don't finance a bike and have that insurance cost and having that monthly payment. Like I mentioned in a lot of my videos, I've always had used bikes all the time, never financed. The most I ever paid was $100 per year. That's right, $100 per year for a used bike, basic coverage, stuff like that. And $100 a year, that's not bad. You know, I think there's subscriptions that are cheaper than that. Yeah, I think your Netflix is like $14 a month, and that's more than your Netflix or streaming services, whatever you got. That's going to cost you more than your insurance. And then, like I said, when I switched over to a finance bike, my insurance went up by tenfold. So now I'm paying over $126 a month for my lowrider. I have a clean record, but it's just, you know, I live in a big city, and the crime rate in my area, I live in the south side, so there's a lot of stolen vehicles, a lot of break-ins, a lot of things, a lot of stuff like that. Anyways, I don't know, you guys leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys considering selling your lowrider?
No! God, please, no! No!
Are you guys thinking about trading it in? I know some of the people, they went ahead and went up to a road glide or a touring bike, and this is just something that I've always mentioned in my other videos. If you ride two-up, or if you're planning on riding two-up, or if you plan on riding long range, then probably consider getting a touring bike over a lowrider. And if you're someone that's thinking about trading up or trading in or upgrading, some of you guys have mentioned, hey, I'm thinking about getting a lowrider. You know what, that's just financially, I've already said my piece on trade-ins. It's just not worth the money. You're losing out on a lot of money, and I mean your upgrades, your interest, your payments, your time. You know, that's just money wasted. But you know what, we're guys. If you guys are just like me, of course you guys are. Or if you guys are just like me, you guys are pretty much set on something, and there's just no changing our minds. I remember getting my Lowrider S. I knew what I was getting into. I did all my research. One of the reasons why I would always get used bikes is just I didn't have that cost, and that insurance cost, of course, is just something huge. And then on top of that, of course, you know, you're just a little bit weary of where you're going to, where you're at. If you're in a bad neighborhood, you probably should find a good security setup to kind of have on your bike. My covers have been gotten stolen. You know, I keep my bikes outside. My bikes are 24/7 outdoors. There's no gate, no anything. So I mean, yeah, my stuff has gotten stolen. My vehicles have gotten broken into. Yeah, I mean, just stuff you have to consider. So like I always say, buy used. If you're a beginner, hold off on financing a bike and just give it a couple months, see where you're at. And if you still have that itch and you still want that full frame big V twin, then you know what, there's some options out there. Some 2018s are out there, but if you really want a Lowrider S and if you really want to upgrade, you know what, that's up to you. I mean, it is what it is. So anyways, you guys just stay out there, stay safe. Thanks for tuning into yet another video. Just go ahead and leave a like on the video. And yes, yeah, don't believe everything you read. Life's a risk. Get out there and ride. Later.